USA to bowl first.
Our referee will formally get things underway. Bernie White tells us it's Team USA to bowl first, and this year's Weber Cup will be opened up for real by Mike Mullin.
Nice to see all these guys shaking hands.
Well, there's a lot of good friendships out there, aren't there? I mean, it's competitive, yes, they both want to win, but there's a lot of good mates there.
Yeah, they've played many, many years together. They all know one another. They know each other's game. And it's Mike Mullin to open the 2002 Mega Bowl Weber Cup for Team USA.
And that's the worst possible start for Mullin and Team USA.
Yeah,
a split.
Dragged his first shot a little bit wide. It didn't quite come back and make the 1-2 pocket which he was looking for. And as I said, this is Baker system bowling, Baker team bowling, and this could well be an open frame.
This is gettable, but it's a high pressure shot. No question about that for Mullin. And he had a go. He tried to bounce that thing back, but it wouldn't come off. So Team USA with an open frame to start this Baker. And Europe with a real good early chance.
Chance for Gary Verbruggen for Team Europe to jump on Team USA straight away. The open frame won't help them at all. It's really not the way to start team bowling.
So the Belgian.
Gary's 36 and our pro shop operator.
And he starts off with the first strike of the Weber Cup.
Nice lot of rotation on the ball. The second left-hander. Mike Mullin was the first left-hander. Jerry is the other left-hander in the teams. And as you can see, he rips it back wide from the left-hand side. Takes an early lead.
So here's Dino Castillo from Dallas in Texas, another veteran of this tournament. And he gets Team USA's first strike as well.
Look at Dino's backswing here, really high. Bit of a bent arm, but comes through nicely. Lots of rotation on the ball and rips that rack. Strike for Team USA.
Well, I wonder if he's nervous, this man from Finland.
Vastly experienced, but it's the first time here. He has bowled on television before, but we'll see. He looks pretty cool. Working on a strike.
Very wide. Yeah, and that's the result.
That's a pretty horrible leave as well. Very, very light on the head pin. Had rotation on the ball, but didn't make it back through the pocket area. Leaving an almost impossible split.
Yes, in many ways it's even worse than the one that Mike Mullin was left with, because he's got 3 on that left-hand side to try and get rid of here. Just try and chip one of them over. And that's not going to get it done.
No, unfortunately only took 3 out, so that's an open frame for Team Europe. Takes them to 28 in frame 2.
Yeah, so is it nerves? Is it the newness of the lane for them? And I wonder what it is. Neither Europe or USA has made the most positive of starts here, but let's see if Bill Hoffman can keep Team USA's strike streak going. Well, there's the answer.
Fabulous double for Team USA. Bill Hoffman right in the pocket there. And it's strikes strung together that makes the big scores in this game, Nick. And Team USA are underway. Fabulous rotation right in the 1-3 pocket. The right-handed bowler's sweet spot.
Here's Tora Torgerson bowling in the number 3 spot for Team Europe.
Nick, you said earlier on whether it's pressure and nervous. Well, they only get 2 frames each, so they don't have a lot of time to settle into their game. And
dear, oh dear, oh dear.
Again, Team Europe, Torrey is light in the 1-3 pocket. He's left the 2-pin and the 10-pin, which is a pretty horrible split. But it is makeable.
just try and chip that left-hand pin over to take out the 10. And it almost worked, but back-to-back open frames for Team Europe.
Yeah, very unfortunate. Another split there. These are brand new pins the guys are bowling with, but that shouldn't affect their game too much. They just need to get locked into that 1-3 pocket.
So the big fella can really ram home American initiative here, making it 3 in a row. Yes. Fantastic
shot from the fridge, Tony Manna. A little bit high on the headband, but he's tripped out the 4-pin, and it's a strike. 3 strikes in a row for Team USA. Look at the rotation on that ball, and here it comes right back into the 1-3 pocket. Trips that 4 and the 9-pin out. Turkey time for Team USA.
And any kind of strike for Thomas Lee Anderson, surely.
A little bit high on the head pin. It's cut right through and left the 9-pin on its own. Nice shot, but unfortunately at this stage, spares are not what Team Europe wants. They need to get back on their strike lines and get back after Team USA. Should be a straightforward spare for the European captain.
Yes, and it is. But as you say, Cass, spares are no good when you've got a couple of open frames behind you. And if there's one fella you would really bet on to reinforce an advantage and really push the other guy's nose in the dirt, figuratively speaking, it's Big Tim Mack.
Working on 3 in a row. Tim's the guy to make it 4. Let's see what he can do.
Well, I was just about to say yes, there was a sense of inevitability about that, but
pretty lucky to get away with dropping that 10-pin at the last there. The 2-pin stands solid and drops the 10-pin. See, it's just wide, and he just clipped the head pin. But a 9-pin spare will be good.
You're so right, Cass. He very nearly left himself a split there, which could have changed the picture considerably. A routine spare, if there is such a thing. That ball went down there at about 100 miles an hour.
The game is half over, Nick, with 5th frame down, and Team USA have got a 31-pin lead.
Which means it's absolutely essential that Phil Scammell here bowls a strike just to keep the Europeans within touching distance.
Well, we've seen Phil on TV before. Famous for bowling high games. Let's see what he can do.
Very purposeful, takes his time. The Americans tend to really just rip through it, but Phil is really setting that one up, and with good effect.
Fabulous shot from Phil, right in the 1-3 pocket. Lots of rotation on the ball. Hooks it back very nicely into the 1-3 pocket.
So it means the Europeans are still just about within touching distance, but they need another American mistake.
Yeah, 31 pins adrift at the halfway stage. And up comes Mike Mullin, the #1 man, to bowl frame 6. Better shot. Made the 1-2 pocket. The angle was a bit tight, very deep, which is why the 7-pin stood up. Nice smooth style, big follow through, and here comes the hook right in that 1-2 pocket.
But strikes have eluded the youngest man on the USA team, 28-year-old Mullin. He's got to make sure of that. Does.
Okay, so Mike's had his 2 shots in this game. He had an open frame and a spare. This brings back Gary Verbruggen, the Team Europe leadoff man, who struck on his first shot. One left-hander in each team. And Gary is the European left-hander.
Right, Gary leaves the 10.
Well, he'll be hoping for a spare. Anything but an open frame is fine. He should be shooting right across the lane from left to right. Takes it out, no trouble.
Yeah, that's the single pin that the left-handers favour, but is the spare enough? Dino Castillo comes up as we just take another look at Gary's spare ball.
Yeah, nice and straight, cut down the rotation and the hook. Less chance of error.
Had a strike last time, Castillo. Still 30 pins to play with here at Team USA.
Nick, that's one hell of a shot. Absolutely fantastic rotation and hook on the ball.
Yes, he's making this lane look very easy, Dino Castillo here, isn't he?
He certainly is, compared to some of the other players who are still looking to make their mark. Unfortunately, with Baker's system bowling, you don't get a lot of chance. 2 frames only.
Now here's the open framer, or one of 2 open framers from Team Europe from last time. Can't afford another one here. Well,
very high through the head pin.
Lentila won't be happy with that. At least he's avoided the split, but that's an unconvincing couple of frames from the Finn.
That's right, yes. He hasn't found the pocket on either shot, and you'll see here that he's very high through that 1 pin. It breaks too early, misses the pocket totally, and leaves the 3-6 and the 10 pin. And of course, now you must make sure of a spare here as well. And unfortunately he hasn't, and that doesn't help Team Europe's cause at all.
Now, what went wrong there, Cass? I mean, because it looks a routine spare. Is it as routine as it looks?
He should have straightened the shot out again, just to run that ball down from the 3 pin down through the 6 and the 10, but it's actually almost hooked, taken the 3 and the 6 out, and has laid in the gutter that 6 pin, leaving the 10 pin on its own.
And leaving Bill Hoffman with a chance to really just make absolutely certain that the 7 hung around for a little while and then said, OK, I surrender. And Tim Mack says, yep.
Well, it's 2 strikes in a row, and it's 2 strikes for Bill Hoffman. He struck first shot, and he's followed Dino Castillo, and it's a double for Team USA.
Yeah, the middle order of this USA team, as it were, has been terrific. Castillo and Hoffman, double strikes, and I think whatever Tora Torgerson comes up with now, it's probably going to be a little bit academic.
Running out of frames, certainly need a strike, and again, similar to Lassie, high through the head pin, and that 3-6-10 is again standing there. And unfortunately, Team Europe are looking at a bit of a defeat coming this way. First game.
Cass, it's early days, but as we just take another look at this strike from Torgerson, this has not been a good start at all from Team Europe, has it? None of them, really.
No, that's right, Nick. You're quite right in what you say. They really haven't got lined up on their strike shot. Tori's made a spare there, but spares are not what they need. And with only 2 frames to go, there's a bit of a difference between the teams now. There's a lot of daylight.
Yeah, Big Tony can just jog across the finishing line here, really.
No, he won't be going for that. He'll be looking for his strike. Struck in the first, on his first shot of the game. He'll be looking for another one.
Probably didn't quite deserve that, not quite there in the pocket.
Hit him thin and made him spin, but unfortunately he left the 7 pin standing.
Well, here is that thin hit. They did spin, Cass, you're quite right.
Certainly jumped around, didn't they, Nick?
But not the 7.
Not the 7 pin.
But it's the one that the right-handers like.
Nice straight shot, no rotation, straight at it, no error.
And my mathematics is nowhere near as good as yours, Cass. Does that officially wrap it up now for Team USA, barring something ridiculous from Tim, which isn't going to happen, of course?
I was thinking it's the betting would be even money at the start of the game, but unfortunately it does appear that it's all over for Team Europe. Three open frames. Thomas has just gone through his paces and left a 2 pin again. He didn't make the pocket. They really haven't got lined up on this single lane at all. 54 pin deficit with 2 frames to go.
It's amazing. Verbruggen and Scammell had a strike. The others didn't. Then Gary couldn't get another strike. Lee Anderson hasn't had one at all.
Well, that's not what Baker bowling's all about, Nick. It's you need your strike makers in there, and Team Europe have only had 2.
Well, at least there's not one guy on the European bench sitting there hanging his head. They've none of them have got too much to shout about after this, Baker. Thank goodness it's a best of 35, because on this evidence, it's not going to be a very long Weber Cup. USA have come out of the blocks very fast.
Yeah, they've come out shooting from the hip. They've taken the first game, and here's the skipper to tie it all up. 10th frame, Tim Mack. Enough said. Team USA have hit 6 strikes so far in the game, with potentially another 2 shots with a bonus ball in the 10th frame. Team Europe, as I say, only 2 strikes, so there's the difference. First blood to the Americans.
Well, if you're going to do that, now's the time to do it, when it doesn't matter.
That's right, yeah. I think Tim threw that one a little bit wider just to see what reaction he would get, and now he's going to change balls again just to test out his spare ball. He'll be learning from this for future matches.
He does drive those spare balls down, doesn't he?
2:15 for Team USA.
But for Phil, a chance to at least get his own personal double. He was one of 2 that managed to strike first time around, so Phil will be looking for this to take himself with some momentum into the singles and doubles matches to come.
Great shot.
Yeah.
Great shot for Phil Scammell. 2nd strike of the game. Trying to give the Team Europe score a little bit of respectability. Fantastic rotation on the ball, and there it is. Nice bit of body language from Phil. He knew it was there.
Mrs. Scammell and Littland. Well, she's not too bothered, is she?
I think she missed that shot, so Phil might have another go. Phil's earned himself 2 extra shots, frame 10.
Well, one member of Team Europe has certainly worked out this lane early.
Yeah, it's the new boy. Phil Scammell, the English lad. British Open winner 2001. And his debut for Team Europe.
So the last ball of this opening Baker for Phil Scammell, who's had 3 strikes. And will definitely want to finish with a 4th. And does. Strong finish from Phil Scammell and Team Europe, but it certainly isn't enough. It puts a gloss of respectability on what's been a very disappointing opening for Team Europe. They finish with 1-7-2, but it's Team USA that draw first blood in this year's Weber Cup.